world, and welcome to another amazing episode of What Does This Knob Do? Yes, you already noticed I decided to do this video in English, and from now on I decided to do all my videos in German and English, because it's much easier to record a voice than doing subtitles. So I hope you understand my Franconian English. While I'm still working on my third episode, which is getting a bit longer and more detailed, Francesco Mulassano of Soundmit asked in the official VCV Facebook group who is interested in testing a module that officially does not exist yet and makes a video about it. Yeah, I said, hey man, I like to do it. Yeah. Soundmit is a sponsor of the VCV Facebook group and now also a sponsor of the new module developed by Autodafe. Below the video you will find links to the various pages of Soundmit and Autodafe. Like always. The module is the TWLV harmonic oscillator, a VCO with 12 selectable harmonics, each a multiple of the fundamental frequency. The level of each harmonic can be adjusted and even controlled by CV. The oscillator provides the fundamental waveforms, with the rectangle represented with different pulse width. Let's take a closer look. Here I have my usual test setup, supplemented by the multiscope from Soft, because I would like to present the three outputs of the module like in comparison. I also use nicety surveillance to adjust the output level of the oscillator to my reference signal, because this is, for a good reason, much lower, as you can see in the red curve here. So now we have the same level on both signals. Once the module is initialized, you will not hear anything, because there's no signal yet. As you can see, however, I get the same sine wave as with my reference signal when the fundamental frequency is fully added. I can now add each single harmonic alone and see exactly the multiples of the fundamental frequency. But they all have the same amplitude. I set the fundamental frequency via the frequency controller in the range of 26 to 2600 Hertz. It becomes interesting when you add the harmonics of the fundamental frequency. On the one hand, we can clearly see that the amplitude is increasing. On the other hand, we see here in the multiscope that different signals are outputted at the three outputs, out, even and odd. As expected, all frequencies are at the output out, the even at the output even, and the odd at the output odd. How odd. Here's very nice to see that at the odd output, currently only the fundamental tone is applied. If I add an odd harmonic, the signal also changes, and of course the signal on the output, while the even signal remains the same. In addition, but also increases the amplitude and thus the volume of the signal. If I add more harmonics, the amplitude will continue to increase and the signals at the corresponding outputs will also change. In the analyzers, you can see the added frequencies very well. By changing the amount of harmonics, I get completely different sound patterns. Exciting again, here is the randomized function of VCV Rack. For further consideration, I initialize the module again and activate only the fundamental frequency. As already mentioned, we have not only sine waves available, as is customary in additive synthesis, but all basic waveforms. Clicking on the plus of the wave display brings us to the next waveform, and the minus leads us back. Personally, I find that a bit awkward. Here, I would have liked a CV controllable rotary switch to be able to morph through the waveforms. But that doesn't mean that there is a lack of control options. At first glance, it looks like a volt per octave input is missing. And so I have asked the developer. The input signal goes always in the frequency CVin. In the center position, the output signal is not affected by the input signal. If you turn the control all the way to the right, the input signal can pass fully. If you turn the control to the left, the input signal is inverted. In addition, the pitch changes as well. An exciting idea, which certainly needs some getting used to. Let's come to the absolute highlight of this oscillator. Each of the 12 harmonics has its own CV input, so I can control each one with a control voltage. Wow! To clarify what this means, I have selected a square wave. I influence this with my LFO1 from Fundamental. The increase in the level is significantly audible. With the sliders, I set the minimum amplitude. With a knob, the strength of the modulation. If I add more harmonics, they will be modulated as soon as I have a corresponding signal. So right now, this is just the keynote. And now I send the same control voltage to the overtones. It can be clearly seen in the analyzer that frequencies remain the same, but the amplitudes are modulated, which of course changes the sound. And of course, I can also use different modulation sources. Here, for example, an LFO on a sample and hold by South Pole. harmonic can practically have a different modulation source. Even sequences with different timing are possible. And of course, we can combine that with an input signal, e.g. a sequence. As a result, very lively sound structures are possible, which almost come close to wavetable synthesis. If you could still modulate a waveform by CV. But who knows, maybe there will be a version 2. But even the missing of this possibility does not diminish the extremely positive overall impression. I really like the sound and the possibilities of changing the sound, handling and design of the module. It's fun to play with this oscillator, and I know it is available soon, and I can only recommend it. Thank you for your interest in my videos. Thanks again to Francesco and Antonio who made this possible. And yeah, see you later. Servus.